Hi guys, welcome back to a new reading vlog. I haven't picked up the camera and read for a long time, but I just finished filming my fall TBR, which if you've not seen that video, definitely go watch it. I did a massive TBR of books I really want to read before the end of the year. So since I have a big FT books I want to read, I thought I'll make a start. So we're going to be vlogging for the next few days, and I'm going to make a start on that FT ambitious TBR. Okay, so I'm starting off with The Wedding People because I think this will make a great transition read from summer to autumn. I picked it like maybe in July from Saucy Books, which is a romance only bookstore. So I'm assuming this is a romance. From what I can gather from the back, I think we're following two women. One of them is just recently divorced and she's gone to this hotel in Rhode Island, and that hotel is being booked for someone's wedding with the other woman. I'm assuming that maybe the divorced woman meets someone at this wedding. I'm not sure, but we'll find out. Apparently this is hilarious and moving. Dysfunctional family, unexpected paths that lead to happiness. So this will be our first book in this vlog. I'm going to mood read my 4 TBR really. That's basically what I'm doing. We're going to make a start on this. You guys know how this goes. I will check in as I'm reading along, giving you guys my thoughts, my feelings, first impression, second impression, or the impression of this book. So let's go. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a couple of days since I spoke to you guys, and obviously I'm still reading The Wedding People. I've actually made more of a dent today than I've done since I spoke to you guys on Sunday. I am now on page 95. I think I'm gonna try and bang out a lot of this evening / tomorrow, but I literally just walked in from work. I went to get my nails done, which I'm hoping it focuses. It's like a milky white nail, but I thought this was a romance, like a second chance romance, basically like a divorcee going to this hotel she's always wanted to go to, and then she stumbles on the wedding and it kind of made her think about love. This is not what this book is about from what I've read so far. So there's no trigger warning in this book whatsoever, and there should be trigger warnings because, but we're following Phoebe in this book. She's our main character. She just went through a divorce and now she's gone to this hotel that she's always wanted to go to because she saw it in the magazine, and when she got there she found out that the entire hotel has been booked for this wedding. So there is a reason why she's gone there, and I can't tell you the reason without giving you guys spoiler, because I feel like going into this I thought it was a romance, and the reason why she was in that hotel I was like, oh my god, I didn't expect that. I was a bit caught off guard, like, oh okay, I was shocked. So I went anything was romance. I think once I got to that part and I was like, oh, this is actually really good, I continued reading. Phoebe's our main character. Is from her point of view, but she and the bride and wedding are like kind of getting on and stuff, like, well, not getting on, but like they're talking or something. Feel about them. When I finish here I might give you guys more of a spoiler, but first impression, this is impressing me so far. And also I have a very bad feeling that she's going to do something silly, like something's going to happen that's going to be like, I don't know, I'm expecting so much twist and turn from this. I'm just gonna change, have my dinner, and then I'm gonna pick up from this book, and I probably won't speak to you guys until I finished it. Tomorrow I am actually going home. Tomorrow I'm going to see my family up north, so I'm going to probably have time to read on the train. This video is going to continue like different locations over the next like couple of days. morning. Okay, so I'm in a different location now. I'm going to be here for the next couple of days, so the rest of our reading vlog would happen here, so you probably see this setting a lot. I did finish The Wedding People this morning and I really enjoyed this book. It was not what I was expecting, but what I got was so much better. I won't count this book as a romance novel. It's romantic, but like if you're looking for like a love confession, a couple getting together at the end, that kind of like grand gesture kind of thing, you're not gonna get it here. But there is romance because it's about basically 4 people really like finding out they're with the wrong people and just having the courage to that kind of make choices of what they want in their life. That's kind of basically what I got from this. I don't want to give you guys a spoiler because I read at the blurb at the back. There's no mention of the main thing that happened. There's no mention of that. So I'll just give you the premise of the books. I think I've told you guys this already, but I'll say it again. So Phoebe is just divorced her husband. She's going through a really tough time, really dark time in her life. So she wanted to go on this like luxurious holiday that she's always been dreaming about going to, this hotel that she saw in a magazine. She never got a chance to go basically. So she went by herself without realizing that the entire hotel was fully booked for this wedding. So obviously she kind of bumped into the bride. They started talking. There was a big reason why Phoebe was there. Anyway, she and the bride kind of had this like weird like bond or something, and she was basically thrust into this wedding and meeting this people. And because she was a stranger, a lot of people felt comfortable opening up to her. She was basically like the therapist for the entire trip, and she was going through some stuff as well. The way she was being the therapy for them, they were helping her, a therapist for her as well. The best way to describe this book is the wedding planner. That's kind of what this book is about. It's basically like the wedding planner. The main character, JLo's character in this book, which is Phoebe, she's not a wedding planner, she's basically a stranger, but it's really good. I really enjoyed this so much. I like Phoebe. She was quite funny. I think she got to a point in her life that she stopped caring what people think about her, and she kind of just got on with things, and it was quite nice to like kind of read that. I really resonated with this book because I feel like some of the things that she was like self-discovery journey that she was on, and I think I was going along with her in that journey because it was just so, I just resonated with some of the things she was talking about, like, you know, being so good and going in the right path your entire life, and then realizing that at the end of the day you're performing. Basically, you spend your lifetime thinking about other people's thoughts about you, and you feel like you're performing for people because you want them to like you, you want approval from people, so you spend your entire life performing instead of just like being your true self. So that message was very, very strong in this book a lot. That was one of the key messages from this book. This is a 4-star read, and I definitely do recommend you if you want like a nice read. I definitely do think this thing is a nice transition from summer to like fall. It's quite a good read, but I think this would make it amazing like holiday read if you're on the way and just want to escape for a little while. It's quite nice. I saw a lot of people saying that because there's a lot of mention of COVID, because basically this movie happened I think just after the COVID. So I think this was maybe like in 2021 or 2022. Everyone just came from COVID, and this wedding was like the first time everyone was like going on a trip and being together kind of thing. So it's kind of that. And a lot of this will date. I don't think it's gonna date it the same way like people mention like World War One and things like that in different books. I don't think that dated. It just gives like a reference point of where everyone's mindset was like. It kind of brought me back to that, how we lived our life in the pandemic and stuff. So it's quite interesting. Definitely a 4-star, and I will highly recommend. One thing I wish this book had was an epilogue because of the way it ended. If you read this book, you know what I mean. I don't think I missed anything because you can get the gist of how everyone's going to end up. But I just wish she actually wrote it down to let us know how everyone ended up, because it just felt like we knew how the puzzle was going to fit in, but we didn't get confirmation of how it was going to end. And because I predicted what was going to happen, that happened. I feel like even with that epilogue, because my prediction was right, I think that I can just predict what the epilogue would be, but would have been nice to get some confirmation. Now that I'm done with this, it's still pretty early this morning. I'm just gonna go downstairs now and make my coffee and stuff like that. But I've decided on my next book because I only have 2 choices, because I'm trying to be really strict with myself to actually read my TBR. Like I told you guys I was going to read it, and I promised I wanted to read these 2 books because they've been sat on my TBR the longest. So we're going to be reading these 2 books together in this vlog. Like we're definitely going to be doing it. So I think because I just read a romance and something romantic, but I want that romance feeling that I feel like I was missing in this, I decided to just read my second romance book in this. I was going to break this one, have a little thriller, but I'm just going to go straight to my next book, which is Get a Life, Chloe Brown. It's a perfect start to my fall reading, to be fair. I think I'll read this really quickly. The fonts are pretty big, less than 300 pages, like just 350 pages, so this would be a nice little read to move on to. been a couple of days and I'm back in London, and it's just a testament to how much I have read since I spoke to you guys last, which is basically bare minimum. So the good news is I did finish Getting Live Chloe Brown. I finished it yesterday night. Okay, my thought on this book, I was pleasantly surprised about how cute and adorable and just so giggly, kicking my feet in the hair cute this book was. And I was like, oh my god, I wish I didn't wait so long to read this because it was so funny. The banter between Chloe and Red was just so adorable. Oh my god, like it was such British banter and they're flirty, and I actually think it's very, very realistic romance. Okay, let's rewind back a little bit. So obviously in this book, our main character is Chloe. She has like a invisible disability. She has like chronic pain, so she spent most of her adult life living at home and depending on her family, which is fine because it's like they're supportive of her, but she's always craved independent and just to crack on with her life, because this chronic pain illness that she has, I think she only just generated it like as a young adult. She had a life, she had a friend, she had fiancés before, but based on her illness, she's kind of lost her friend. She's kind of like trying to get her life back together. That's kind of what she's going through. So the first step is to make this list of things she wants to do. So she moves out of her family house and then moves into this apartment building where she meets Red, who's our MMC in this book. Red is also on a bit of a journey as well, like he's trying to reset his life, has his own, not list, but he has his own things he's trying to like conquer as well. He is the handyman or superintendent of the flat she lives in, but there was an instant attraction between them because Chloe is actually quite wealthy and sheltered, she's kind of posh, and Red is not. They had this like thing like, oh, they didn't like each other, even though they fancied each other, but they just didn't think they were each other's type kind of thing, so they had like a clash from the start anyway. But the more they got to know each other and spend time together, their relationship and friendship grew. So obviously, because Redford is the only like bad boy or non-posh person that I guess Chloe knows, she recruited Redford to help her with her list of getting alive, and the romance just blossomed from there. But they are banded together when they like interact in the conversations they have, it's just so funny and so cute, and I believe this so much because it just makes complete sense, and they're just so cute and so adorable. Like Chloe is so funny in the most like hopper tonnage way, and Red is just giving back the banter between them. They do have a lot of conflict going through to get like separately as individuals, but they kind of this right fit. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was such a nice, amazing read. I'm going to rate this a 4.5 star. Well, I started this book when I think that's when I spoke to you guys. Started this book, I think I read like maybe the epilogue, and then on my train journey back, which I think I got a clip of that, on my train journey back, I sat down that train journey. It was a long train journey because the trains in the UK are having a bit of an issue right now. I think I read like 200 pages in that sitting, like on that train journey, because I was just, once I got into the story, I just could not get enough of it. And then I got home last night and I just devoured the rest. So I basically finished this book, if I'm being honest, in one day. I want to kick myself for not picking up this book a lot sooner because it's been sat on my TBR for such a long time. It's so cute, but Redford is just so adorable. And Smuggles, the cat that they adopted together, oh, this book is so adorable. And I think, even as it was a transition read, it's perfect for autumn. This book was set in autumn because they did quite a lot of cute autumn things. They went camping. It's very cozy, and she wears a onesie. Like, it's just a very cozy read. I think this would give a nice cozy vibe. Definitely highly recommend this book, which basically means read your TBR. The next and final book we're going to be reading together in this vlog is The Housemaid Secret by Frida McFadden. I have never been this little enthusiasm to read a book before in my life. I just want to read this book because it feels incomplete in my head. I've bought the book now, I need to read it, and I think it would be a quick read. Frida McFadden books are really easy to read. I have read the first book, which is The Housemaid, which was okay. I think I rated it like a 3.5 stars, something like that. But this book is basically following the same character that we met from the first book. She's in this book and I think she has a new job now, and obviously I think she managed to do something bad in this one as well. I think this is available on Spotify to listen to because I am working today. I'm working from home today. So I think I'll probably listen to this as I'm working, like a podcast kind of thing. But we'll see how we get on. So this is our next and final book in this video, The Housemaid Secret. So let's crack on. I just finished The Housemaid's Secret by Frida McFadden. Okay, it wasn't bad, but basically, I don't have to put this in the nicest way possible. It's exactly what I expected. I've read enough Frida McFadden book to kind of understand her formula. She's very, very good at like giving us a plot twist. That woman can twist a plot like no other. She is the queen of plot twists. She waffles on for like 8% of the book, and the last 20 minutes just like bang, 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 bang. So when it comes to twists and the unexpected of twists, Frida McFadden is good. What she's not that good at is character development, which, to be fair, this book is quite short, so there's only so much character development you can get. So obviously I read The Housemaid, the first book in the series, and I think I gave that book, I can't remember what reason I gave that book, and I enjoyed that because of what happened. It was so diabolical. But after reading this book, which I think I'm going to rate this a 3-star. If you can hear the construction noise, I'm really sorry. Someone is doing a DIY project and they are going hard here. They've been going at it all morning, so I just have to like talk over it. Anyway, so one thing I have discovered about our main character. Okay, let's just go back a little bit and talk about the plot. So obviously this is the sequel to the first book in the series, which is The Housemaid. So we're still following Millie. Millie is the main character. She is the housemaid. In the first book, she was hired by this wealthy family as a cleaner, and then she discovered like the husband was abusive and things like that, and then she killed the husband. So we had established in the first book that she was a murderer, and she's an ex-con as well. So she's been in prison for 10 years for killing someone when she was in high school, which was basically, that first murder was a bit of an accident because she saw one of her friends being essayed, and obviously she kind of came to defense and she killed the guy that was doing the essay or whatever. So that was kind of like a fit of rage of saving someone, like almost like self-defense, but she obviously went to prison for that. That's fine. And in the first book as well, she did commit another murder, which was basically saving another woman. So it seems that Millie's MO is to basically become like the saving grace for like abused women. That's kind of a thing. But instead of helping women get away from their wealthy husbands that have been abusive to them, she's basically like killing them. So basically, low-key, high-key, Millie is a murderer. Established fact. Full stop. Done. So in this book, I think a couple of months after obviously the first book, now she's living in New York and she is a maid again. She has a boyfriend that sounds like a waste of space, because I'm like, our boyfriend, what's his name, broke whatever his name was. I don't know why it was in this book. He actually had no, there was no reason for him to be in this book. This book could have been fine without him being there. It was just like an extra piece of furniture. Anyway, basically being employed with his family, and obviously the same MO as the first book. The family is dodgy, the husband is quite controlling, the wife doesn't come out of the bedroom. Frida McFadden loves like a room in the house that nobody can get into, and then she found that like, you know, she's in this abusive marriage or relationship because she was Millie was referred to her by another friend that Millie helped. So that's kind of what the premise is. Basically, she's just helping this woman escape her wealthy abusive husband, but then obviously things come to unravel. There was some unexpected twists. We got several plot twists. You know, Frida McFadden, she gives you like multiple plot twists. The first plot twist, I could see that going because I'm like, Wendy is dodgy. Okay. One thing I have coming to realize that I think Millie is a bit dumb. Like, it's so funny because I'm like, this woman is basically meant to be like this like vigilante going around helping these wealthy women get rid of husband. She's like a murderer, basically like an assassin without being paid for it. But then she does some things and I'm thinking like, no, that doesn't make sense. As someone that's been in prison for 10 years and then coming out and trying to make a better life for herself, and she goes around like literally saving this woman. There's some things that this Wendy woman pulled with Millie, and I'm thinking like, surely Millie should be smarter than this. Like, this doesn't sound right. The character's personality and what she does is not gelling. I don't know if I'm just overthinking this book, I'm overanalyzing this book, I don't know. And then Lorenzo from the first book, who also had like a small part to play, which I actually thought in the first book, I thought Lorenzo was actually like dating the wife, I think Nina in the first book, but he is in this book as well, and they're like partners in crime, but now they're like, I guess they're dating again. And I'm just like, I didn't even know they had a connection, because even from the first book they just spoke a few times because Lorenzo warned her about, you know, what's going on. But I thought Lorenzo was having an affair with Nina the entire time. So there wasn't a connection between Lorenzo and Millie in a romantic sense. But for some reason, Frida's kind of forced it down her throat now that they're actually a couple, which again. So yeah, but I think for the entertainment part, this book was a fun read. It's a nice easy read. I read through this like in a day and a half. It's easy to read, and I think that's kind of one of the things about Freedom of Friday. She has like mass popularity. Everyone loves her because her books are so easy to read, so easy to follow. Like anyone can read this book. If you're not into thriller, this is a good, nice read. I can imagine this being read by anybody. It's just entertaining and things like that. But for me, I think that when I started reading Freedom of Friday, I really love her books back to back to back. So I felt like it was just, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe if I gave space between her and the stories, I can see the differentiation. But I think because of how much I read altogether, they are kind of muddled into one, and I kind of understand the formula. I wouldn't go out and rush and buy them. I don't think I'm going to continue with the series because there's a new one. There's one more book out, The Housemaid's Boyfriend, which I'm assuming is about Lorenzo because now they're living together. And then I think there's another novella that came out. I can't remember. So, but I don't think I'm going to continue with it for now anyway. That might change in the future if I find it somewhere. But for now, I don't have any plans to read anymore. Those are my thoughts on The Housemaid Tale. I am so happy with this vlog, guys. We managed to read 3 books of my TBR. It did take longer than I wanted it to take. I think this vlog was meant to be a few days, and it basically took like a full week. My main objective for this vlog wasn't just to like read this book as fast as possible. I just wanted to clear some book of my TBR, and we managed to clear 3 books of my TBR, especially for Get a Life, Chloe Brown and The Housemaid's Secret. These 2 books, guys, they've been on my TBR for over a year, so I'm just so happy that I'm finally ticked them off, and I was pleasantly surprised by all of them. I think they were all good reads. We're chipping away at that for TBR, and I think like if I just continue filming vlogs with you guys can hold me accountable to see how many of those books I've read. If you made it this far in this video, thank you so much for sticking with me to the end. I hope you've enjoyed watching me read these amazing books and just making a start to my fall TBR. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, say hello in the comments, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.